Hello kids, welcome to chapter number 18, National Income and Circular Flow of Income. So, let's start with the national income concept. What do you mean by national income? National income is defined as the money value. National income is defined as the money value. Why money value? Because national income is expressed in terms of money. So it is defined as money value of all final goods and services. Now what is the meaning of final goods? So guys, there are two types of goods. One is final goods and other is intermediate goods. Final goods means those goods which are bought by the final consumer for his or her consumption, or they are bought by producers for investment. I'll repeat again. Final goods are those goods which are bought by final consumers, or they are bought by final producers. They are the goods which are bought by consumers for their final consumption. Means they are not buying these goods for reselling it or for making some product out of it and then again selling it. No. They are buying these goods for the final consumption, or they are bought by producers for investment. For example, let's say a producer, let's say I'm a teacher, and I bought a printer. Now I bought a printer because I keep on conducting a lot of tests in the class and I need printer for my tuition. So I bought a printer which is going to be used finally by me. I am not going to convert this printer into some other product and resell it. Neither I am buying this printer for selling it to someone else. I am buying this printer for my final consumption as an investment in my business. So that is called as final goods. If I buy goods from someone and then I sell them to someone else, I got some shirts from some producer and not for my final consumption. I sold those shirts to someone else. I bought shirts for reselling purpose. Then they are not called as final goods. They will be called as, I bought from someone as a cheaper rate and I sold them at a higher price. So that purely I have bought it for my business for reselling. So that is not called as final goods. Final goods will always be bought by the final consumer or the final producer. Final consumer is going to buy it for the final consumption. Final producer is going to buy it for final investment. They are not buying these goods for reselling. They are not buying these goods for making some other product out of it and then sell them. Purely they are bought for final consumption or for investment, if it is consumer or producer respectively. Let me give you one more example. I have a sugar industry. Now in that sugar industry we got a lot of roller where we crush the sugar cane, extract juice out of it. Now that juice we convert into sugar. Now in this case the rollers which are installed in my sugar mills are called as my final goods because they are used by me as a final producer. I am not selling those rollers to someone else. But the sugar cane which I got to crush, once I crush that sugar cane, the sugar cane will lose its identity. It will get converted into sugarcane juice and then further into sugar. And then finally I will sell that sugar to someone else. So I got sugarcane to make some new product out of it and then sell it to someone else. Now this will be called as intermediate goods. This will be called as intermediate goods. So in my example, sugarcane is called as intermediate goods, and the rollers which I got to crush the sugarcane which I installed in my mill is called as final goods. I'll give you one more example. Let's say there is a farmer. A farmer got a tractor, okay, because he wanted to plow the field with the help of a tractor. He got a lot of seeds. Now, he sowed the seeds and the seeds got converted into crops. So, he bought seeds not for the final consumption. He wanted to make crops from seed. Seeds got converted into crops. They lost their identity. But tractor, he's not buying it to sell it to someone else. He want to use it again and again in his business. So in this case, tractor will be a final good. And the seeds which he got, they will be called as intermediate goods. In national income, we take money value of only final goods. Remember kids, we don't take value of intermediate goods. We don't take value of intermediate goods. Now, since we are talking about it, let us understand why we don't take value of intermediate goods. Going back to the example of sugarcane. Now, in the sugar industry, when I sell sugar, let's say I sold sugar for 200 rupees per kg. In that cost of sugar, the cost of sugarcane is already added. Okay, so if I give you an example, that sugarcane cost was rupees 50. I made sugar out of it, which I sold for rupees 200. Now in this 200, already the cost of sugarcane is included. So we don't have to calculate the value of sugarcane twice. We will take the value of sugarcane only once. So if I will take it twice, if I will take value of sugarcane also, which is my intermediate goods, if I will take value of sugar also, my 50 rupees will be counted twice. So that will lead to double counting error. We don't want the error of double counting. So to avoid the problem of double counting, we take value of only sugar. We take value of only sugar. Okay, so we don't take value of intermediate goods. National income calculate the value of only final goods. National income is defined as money value of all final goods and services produced by normal resident. Now what is normal resident? Do you mean normal resident means he should be a citizen of the country? No. Normal resident can be a citizen of the country, cannot be a citizen of the country, but his economic interest should lie in the country where he is residing. So not every Indian, in US there are so many Indians residing. They are doing their economic activity over there. They are generating their income by doing economic activity in US. But they are not US citizens. But yes, their economic interest lies in US. Correct? They are residing in US. Their economic interest lies in US. Now I have a friend from Germany who has been residing in India from last 1 year. She is doing economic activity also in India. But she is a German citizen. But she is residing in India. Her economic interest, what do you mean by economic interest? Her source of income, she is generating income by doing economic activity in India. Though she is not a citizen of India, that's fine. But she is generating income by doing economic activity in India. In that case, she will be called as normal resident of India. In my first example, the Indians living in US, though they are not citizen of US, but they will be called as normal resident of US. So normal resident means people whose economic interest lies in the country where they reside. They not necessarily should be a citizen of that country. So those people are called as normal resident. So national income is the sum total of money value of all final goods and services produced by the normal resident of a country. Okay, whether he is operating within the domestic territory of the country or outside. Now what do you mean by domestic territory? Domestic territory means, it's a geographical term. Domestic territory means the boundary, the geographical territory of our country. The boundaries, all the areas which comes in the boundary of India is called as domestic territory of our country. But it also include one more thing. Our country's embassies are there in other part of the world. They are also part of our domestic territory. Though our embassies are in other part of the world, but they are treated as domestic territory of India. Similarly, other countries' embassies in our country are excluded from our domestic territory. Also, there are many international organizations like WHO, UNO, UNICEF, World Bank. They all have their offices. They are international organizations. They have offices in India. They will be excluded from the domestic territory of our country. So domestic territory means the geographical territory, the boundary, the areas which comes in the boundary of India. But it includes embassies of India in other part of the world. It excludes the offices of the international organization in India. It also excludes the embassies of other countries in India. So we will include only those activities which are produced. We will include, those activities which will be produced by a normal, which will be done by a normal resident within the domestic territory of the country or outside in a country. Means I am a normal resident of India. I am a citizen of India also. I am a normal resident of India because my economic interest lies in India. I am generating my income by doing economic activity in India. So I am called as normal resident of India. Now, excuse me. I do economic activity in India, but maybe chances that I do provide online services to someone in other part of the world, and I get income from that. Similarly, I use someone else's service from rest of the world and I pay them money. So this activity will also be part of my national income. So whatever activity, whatever income I am generating by doing economic activity from the domestic territory of our country or from outside, that's fine. But that will be also part of our national income. National income includes economic activity includes all final goods and services produced by normal resident of the country, within the domestic territory of the country or outside. That is called as national income. Now, what is included in the national income? What is not included in the national income? So already I discussed the first item. The value of final goods will be included in the national income. The value of intermediate goods will not be included in the national income. Why it will not be included? Because this can lead to error of double counting. Then second hand selling of goods. Many times we buy car, we sell it again. I got a very expensive watch, I don't want to use it, I sell it again. So these all goods are not again produced. They are called as second-hand goods. Whenever you do any sale or any purchase of second-hand goods, any sale or any purchase of second-hand goods will be excluded from our national income. Do you know why? Because they are called as pure exchange transaction. They are called as pure exchange transaction. Whenever any sale or purchase of second-hand good is taking place, remember one thing, they are not reflecting any new production in the current year. They are not reflecting any new production in the current year. That is why sale and purchase of any second-hand goods will be excluded from our national income. But to do that sale and purchase of that second-hand goods, you appointed some agent or you appointed some broker. Now that agent or broker did a service for you. What service did he do for me? Of helping me to sell that second-hand goods. I had a car which I wanted to sell, but I don't know whom to sell. So I appointed a broker. And that broker or agent found the right customer for me and sold my car to him. So he did this job for me. So he has rendered a service of what? Of finding me a right customer to sell that goods. So that service, what that agent, that broker has rendered for me is a service done in the current year. I'll pay him commission for that or I'll pay him brokerage for that. But that commission or brokerage is the income generated by him because he has rendered some service in the current year. So that will be included in our national income. That will be included in our national income. Similarly, if you do any sale or purchase of financial assets means shares. Let's say I bought 100 shares of Kotak Mahindra. I bought 100 shares of Kotak Mahindra. Now when I am buying 100 shares of Kotak Mahindra, it is not reflecting any production, any current production by Kotak Mahindra. Only the purchasing power of those 100 shares has been transferred to me. The ownership of those 100 shares has been transferred to me. But in return, no new current production has taken place. So that will be excluded. Sale and purchase of financial assets will be excluded from the national income. But similarly, I appointed some agents to perform that work, who did the selling of shares for me or purchasing of shares for me, and I paid him his commission. Okay, so that agent has done the work of selling or purchasing these shares for me in the current year. He has rendered that service for me in the current year. So that will be included. The commission, the brokerage, what I will pay to that agent will be included in my national income. Third, any transfer payment. Transfer payment are also called as unilateral transfer. They are also called as unilateral transfer. Unilateral means one-sided transfer payment. One-sided. I'll give you an example. Let's say my uncle was working in Indian Railways. He retired. After retirement, government will pay him pension throughout his life. Even though he is not working, he will continue getting pension throughout the life. He is not doing any service in return, still government is giving him money. Correct? Government is giving him money though he is not doing. I'll give you one more example. Let's say some gift government got. Like let's say Tata Group of companies decided to gift our government of the country 1000 crore just as a help. It's a donation or a gift they have received. Now in return, government has not done any service for them, has not sold them any goods, but government has got money from them. So these are called as transfer payment. Transfer payment means in return, no activity has been rendered. No activity has been rendered in return. One-sided. We are receiving money, but in return we are not doing any work for that person who is doing that work for us. But payment we are receiving. So this is called as one-sided payment. One-sided payment. When there is payment getting received, but in return there is nothing being done for the person who is getting that payment. That person has not done any activity for us. He has not sold any goods to us. He has not given any service to us. So they are called as transfer payment. But I got a labor to work for my house and we paid wages to the labor. And that labor got wages because he provided his factor service. The laborer got wages because he provided his labor service. So that's called as factor payment services. Factor payment services. So that will be included. I use someone's land. I use someone's land. So in return I paid rent to that person. So that rent is the income which is given for using the factor service of land. So it will be included in our national income. So factor service payment will be part of the national income, but transfer payment will not be part of transfer income, will not be part of national income. Remember one thing, only those transactions will involve in national income which is two-sided. Money received, in return some goods or services have been given. Okay, so transfer payment are always excluded from national income, but factor service payment are included in our national income. Also remember one thing, any work done by housewife or any parents at home out of the love for the children or duty as a parent, that is all excluded from national income. That is all excluded from national income. So final goods, factor payment, commission, brokerage paid, these all will be included in the national income. Sale and purchase of financial asset, sale and purchases of the second-hand goods, any of the transfer payment, any activity done out of love, affection, duty, for which no returns have been received, they all will be excluded. They all will be excluded from your national income. So first of all, you should know what is national income including, what is national income excluding. So this is what we have discussed in the first part of the chapter. Is that clear to all of you? Now we proceed ahead with circular flow of income topic. So now let's talk about circular flow of national income. Circular flow of income. So first of all, there are four main groups. Let's say first, household. What is the meaning of household? Group of people living under same roof, taking joint decision, receiving their income by the factor services they are providing. So household is the owner. Household is the owner of factors of production. Of factor of production. Household will have all the services which we want. Like for example, labor will be from household. Land will be owned by household. Entrepreneur will be from household, but they will be from also. Land, labor, capital. Entrepreneur we will not be counting entrepreneur in the household, that we will counting from. So land, labor, capital, these all will be part of household. So who is providing? They are the factors of production. They provide factor services. They are the owners of the factors of production. They provide factor service. Then we have business sector. Business sector means firm. Business sector means firm. So now who all will be part of firm? Firm means the industries, the businesses. Okay. They are the one who are going to be basically buyer of the factor services. They are the one who are going to produce all goods and services. Then we have government. Then there is government. So government is general government, we say. Government is a regulatory body, correct? They collect taxes, they use that money for people's welfare, they invest money in the welfare projects of country. And then we have rest of the world. With rest of the world, we do what? Import, export. Okay, what transaction we do with rest of the world? Import, export. If it is open economy, we will have all the four groups: household, business, government, rest of the world. But if it is closed economy, we will have only three: household, business, government. Rest of the world will not be part of it. Now, we are going to see the circular flow of income between these sectors. So first sector, how the flow of income take place from one sector to another, that is what we are going to see. So first, let's take example. First we take model of two sector model. Two sector model without saving and investment. Without saving and without investment. So now in this two sector we will take only the first two. Household and firm. So first we have household. You remember at the beginning I told you they are the owners of factors of production. They have land, they have labor, they have capital, because they are the owner of the factors of production. And we have firm. We have firm. Firm is a business enterprise. They are the ones who are producing all goods and services. They are the ones who are producing all the goods and services. Now, in this case, first of all, household will have land, but this land, labor, capital is needed by whom? Firm, because it's a production entity. So household will provide the factor services. Factor services में क्या क्या आ गया? Land आ गया, labor service आ गया, capital आ गया, to firm. Because firm wanted to carry out the production activity. Now, firm in return, the firm will have to make the payment for it. If the firm will use land from household, what will firm pay? Yes, rent. If the firm will use labor services from the household, what will firm pay to them? Correct, wages and salaries. If firm use capital from household, what will firm pay in return? Interest. So wages, salary, rent, interest, these all are the payments done by firm to household for using their factor services. So now from firm, money will be flowing to household in the form of factor payment. In the form of factor payment. Now firm used all these goods and all these factor services and they produced some goods or they produced some service. Now firm will provide, who will buy the firm's goods and services? So from firm, the goods and services will be sold to household. Now in this model, we are assuming that both the sectors are not doing any saving. So whatever payment household will receive from firm in the form of factor payment. With all those goods, with all that money, household is going to buy goods from firm. So firm produce all the goods which are bought by household. In return, household paid household made payment for those goods and services. For those goods and services. Now you must be noticing that the two lines I have drawn are solid lines and the other two lines I have drawn are dotted lines. Why like that? Solid line, if you see, from household to firm is for factor service and from firm to household is for goods and services. In this case, these both the things are getting transferred in which is called as real flow. But from firm, when the money is coming to household in the form of factor payment, it is called as money flow. From household, when the payment is going to firm for goods and services, that is also money flow. So whenever any money payments are done, we will draw them with a dotted line. But when there are goods or services, then we will draw them with solid line. So solid line represent real flow. Factor payment, factor services is real flow. Goods and services is real flow. Now after understanding this, one thing is very clear, that the total production of the firm is equal to total consumption of the household. Total income of the household is equal to total payment by the firm. Total expenditure which household has done on goods and services, which has been done by goods and services. Okay, total expenditure is equal to income which firm is generating is equal to income of the firm. So whatever consumption, whatever firms has produced, all the goods and services are consumed by household. Whatever household has generated income is because that payment they have received from firm. Whatever is the expenditure, how much ever goods and services they have bought, all the expenditure of the household is equal to all the income of the firm. So this is two-sector model without saving and investment. But now in this we add one thing. Let's say two-sector model with saving and investment. Now in this case we are going to have a situation where there is saving being done. But again we are going to simplify our study by assuming only household is doing saving. So household provided factor services to the firm. Firm did factor payment for that. Let's take a number. Let's say firm got 1,000 rupees as factor payment. Now in this case we are going to talk that there is saving happening and there is investment happening. Now in this case we are assuming that household who received rupees 1,000 as a factor payment, they decided, in the earlier example household was spending all the money, but in this case we are assuming that household is not spending all the money. Let's say 200 rupees they decided to save, and again with 800 rupees they bought the goods. So in economy household got rupees 1,000 from firm, but in return household gave back only 800 rupees. They did not spend entire 1,000 rupees. They spent 200 rupees less. So in the flow of income, where 1,000 rupees was received, in return only 800 will go back. That means when the economy, the money is going back, 200 rupees is going back less. So because that is getting saved. So in this case saving is representing what? Leakage. Leakage is that amount which leads to reduction in the flow of income. So in our total flow of income we received was 1,000, but household gave back was only 800. In economy 200 rupees went back less. Why? Because that got leaked in the form of saving. It got leaked in the form of saving. Now what did what did household do with that saving? They decided to put it in the capital market. Capital market को easy language में run करना है bank. So household gave this saving to capital. What will capital market do? They will find the right firm. They will find the right firm and will invest. Will give it to that right firm. So that 200 rupees which household had saved, they will give it to capital, and capital market in return will invest. I stand for investment back to the firm. So the 200 rupees which had gone less in economy again came back to economy in the form of investment. So in this case, investment represent what? It represent injection. It represent injection because that again increased the flow of income. That increased the flow of income. The 200 rupees which was leaking again got injected back in the economy in the form of investment. So the condition for equilibrium is saving should be equal to investment. In our example, the saving was 200 and the investment was also 200. And that is how equilibrium situation will be achieved. In case saving is more than injection, remember one thing, the circular flow of income will be reduced. If saving is less than investment, saving is less than investment, it will lead to increase in the volume of flow of income. So the ideal condition is what? Saving and investment should be equal. Now, we take the third situation. I'm going to just erase this because I'm going to use your board completely. Now we are going to switch to third sector, 3 sector. Again in 3 sector, this is going to be common. Alright. Now in 3 sector, we are going to have a new group added. Yes. And that group is going to be called as, correct, government. It is going to be called as government. So now let us understand how the flow of income takes place. So first, let's understand why household pay money to government. So the flow of money from household to government takes place in the form of taxes. We all pay tax, income tax, correct? So the flow of money from household to government takes place in the form of tax. So far, saving was our leakage, correct? And so far, what was our injection? Yes, investment. Now the flow of money from household went to government in the form of various taxes. Government in return gives money to household back. How? Government uses factor services of household. There are so many laborers who are working for government projects. Let's say government is making coastal road, government wanted some labor services to be used. So the labors come from where? Household. What will government pay them? Factor payment. There were some employees working in government job. Now they are retired. They are still getting money from government. Why? In the form of transfer payment. So the flow of money from government to household will take place in the form of factor payment plus transfer payment plus transfer payment. Okay. Now, how will the flow of money take place between firm and government? All firm also has to pay money to government in the form of taxes. So many taxes all the firm pay, right? So in both the cases, if you see household is giving money to government in the form of taxes, firm is giving money to government in the form of taxes. So when the tax money is paid, can I say that much flow of income will get leak in the circular flow. So taxes represent what? Leakage. But now government will give money back to firm. Let's say government want to make a road for which they want cement. They bought cement from L&T. L&T is what? Firm. So government is not going to take cement from L&T free of cost. Government in return will have to pay money for the purchases which government has done from L&T. So whatever purchases government is making from the firms, government makes my payment for that. Also, government gives huge subsidies to the firm. What is subsidies? Discounts. So the discount which government is giving to firms is indirectly an expenditure only which government is doing for firms. So the money from government will go back to firm in the form of payment for purchases and also as in the form of subsidy. So in this case, government has done expenditure for the household for factor payment, transfer payment. Government has done expenditure to the firms in the form of factor, in the form of payment of purchases and subsidy. So whatever expenditure government is doing is again going to inject money back in the economy. So saving plus taxes should be equal to investment plus government expenditure. S plus T should be equal to investment expenditure plus government expenditure. This is a condition of equilibrium. This is a condition of equilibrium. Again, in case, if this is more, saving is more, saving plus taxes is more than investment and government expenditure, the flow will decrease. If investment expenditure and government expenditure is more, it will increase. So the ideal condition for equilibrium is they should be equal. Now we are going to enter into the open economy. Open economy means we will have, yes, rest of the world. And with rest of the world, which is a common transaction we do, yes, import and export. Correct. So many times in household people ask for goods, they buy goods from rest of the world. We import goods from rest of the world. Oh, I love the LV bag. I bought it. There was a spring sale going on in US. I ordered LV bag from US. Or I got iPhone from US. So what am I doing basically? I'm importing from rest of the world, for which I will have to make the payment. So from household, money will go to rest of the world for payment. Household will have to make the payment for all the imports which they are doing from rest of the world. But similarly, there are my relatives. My brother is staying in rest of the world. He is staying in US, and every month he keeps on sending some money over here to my family. What is this money called as? Remittance. So in my example which I just gave, money is coming from rest of the world to my country, to me, to the household. I am a part of household. We see so many people staying in abroad, and every month they keep on sending some money to their families in our country. That money which they are sending is called as remittance. So from rest of the world, household can get money in the form of remittance. In the form of remittance. Also, what about rest of the world and firm? Now, rest of the world, many of the firms of India are using goods and services from rest of the world. For example, some countries, some businesses are using consultancy services of some other firm in the other world, part of the world. So what basically firm is importing. So whatever imports even firm will make, they're doing it for investment purpose, which is like, for example, a firm decided to make a road. Now for road they needed a machinery which they didn't have. They imported it from Russia. So firm will have to make the payment for the imports. So payment for imports. But similarly, many firms in other part of the world are importing goods and services of the firms of India. Okay, so in that case, rest of the world will make payment to firms. So this will be called as, basically firm will be exporting to them. So receipts, so there will be, firm will be exporting to rest of the world their goods or their services, which rest of the world firms need for their investment. Okay, so that will be receipts from export. So in this case, when we were importing, there was a leakage, but when we export, again the money get injected. So the ideal condition should be what? Import is represented by M, export is represented with X. S plus T plus M should be equal to I plus G plus X. So all these three in two sector with saving. Saving is leakage, investment is injection. In three sector, taxes and saving are leakage, investment and government expenditure are injection. In fourth sector, saving plus taxes plus import is leakage, investment and government expenditure and exports are injections. So this is how the flow of goods, services and money take place. This is how the circular flow of income takes place, and this was a final model for open economy, which is also called as four sector economy. So this is how the flow of income takes place from one group to another. Is that clear? So that was your chapter number 18. Thank you so much.